This sit down with Scott Galloway and Oprah Winfrey is enough to make any man with healthy testosterone vomit. Imagine this: the queen of feminism and the simp herder himself, sent by corporate American government to get men back on the plantation of serving women, Scott Galloway, sitting down, having a conversation about men and why the young men have checked out. There's a lot of issues. But if you spent the last 70 plus years punching down on men to uplift women, basically systematically, through laws, through rules, through government, through Hollywood, beating down on men and masculinity, and you want these same men to be better for women who've been raised to hate and distrust men, who think that masculinity is toxic, who's talking about they'd rather spend time with a bear, who make up all kinds of false statistics about who hate who hate patriarchy, who hate leadership, who've been boosted by a governmental system that offers women a certain amount of favoritism while pressing down and beating down on the same men. And now you say that these men, it becomes a circular culture, need to be better. Better to be with these women who hate them, who's got these BS liberal arts degree or masters and whatever other degrees they have in bullshit, basket weaving that don't make any money, that are loaded with student loan debt, that by the time they get into college and pledge fraternity, they're getting basically plowed and pounded away by the guys on the basketball team. How do I know this? Look on that wall right there. You see me? That's me dunking right there. That's me. That's me dunking a basketball at the Power 5 level. You see? That's why these content creators can't come into this space and have conversations with guys like me, because I understand men's issues. And if they try to make this weakness conversation, they're just going to get destroyed. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use my 22 years of law enforcement experience and pull up their background. And you discover that the lives they're living is probably a life of full degeneracy. Trust me, they're going to come and shame men and call men incels. But I see that 350-pound land whale that you're sleeping with, and you're on here talking to men, and you're nothing but a cucked simp. So they don't bother me. They just leave me alone. They drive right past. Because 9 times out of 10, these guys that come and shame men and talk to men ain't nothing but closet simps who've gotten their balls clipped. But getting back to Scott Galloway, the agent of government and corporate America, it's almost insulting. They think men are stupid. They think men are dumb. They think men are just going to hand over their masculine, not the men that women want. And the smart Gen Z young men. Now, I don't agree with young men checking out. I think guys need to be educated. We need to develop masculinity and manhood separate from women. And that's why this channel exists. Because, again, we want to get back into doing manly things. Because if they want to develop your manhood in a feminized way, emotional and intelligent, everything that benefits women and worn out women that have taken part in sexual liberation. But that's not in your best interest, you see? They're not trying to change any of the laws or change any of the rules or make any adaptation. They just want good old boy servants. They're not even offering you any type of incentives or any compromises to fix relationships or whatever else. In fact, what they say is shame. Be better for worse is what they're telling you. Be better for worse. Yeah, level up for a woman that has 50 bodies on her, or some born-again virgin that has found Christianity after getting ran through, vigorously and viciously pounded out. And that makes you a man. What makes you a real man is jumping on the grenade, taking on responsibilities for people who don't give a rat's ass about you, or women that have mismanaged their youth. Madness. I think the value of men is just too low in the West. Many of the women that they even talk to you about would be considered xingyu in China and other places, leftover women that they're trying to get you, who basically took their years from 18 to 30 to whatever else, focused on their career, but they're not celibate. They're getting their hair pulled. They're getting stretched out in these dorms. They're enjoying liberation. So basically, what are you going to do? What are you going to have in your house? Imagine being married to somebody that's been raised to hate you. And I said in my other video, a male lion can't tame a hyena. So you invested in a relationship with these liberal-minded, liberally indoctrinated women. These liberal-minded women. So what does she think she's going to do? She's going to spend all her days trying to chip away at your masculinity, trying to turn you into that guy that she saw in those Hollywood movies growing up, who tried to redesign, reprogram what man's supposed to be, showing images of this idiot simp cock dude in a marriage getting abused and disrespected by women, and he runs around, the goofy Homer Simpson type, Al Bundy type guy. And that's what she's grown up to believe masculinity and manhood is. You think you're going to live in peace with that broad? You're absolutely crazy. And to me, let the system fall, and then it will correct itself. What the young men are doing is intelligent. You just have to drown yourself in hobbies and passions for the next few years. This isn't a sign that they are broken. Scott Galloway and Oprah having conversation about men, they're broken. They need you to go marry these whores or get in a relationship with some of these modern women and feminists, because the economy is changing, inflation is here, and it ain't getting any better. They're not trying to lower the prices of houses. They're trying to put you on 50-year mortgages. So they're desperate for you to come back to the table, but they don't even have enough respect to offer you value and incentive. They want you to sign on to the deal that they have for you. That's what they want you to do. And they don't like men like me telling you to tell them to go kick rocks. I won't even play the video that they have about masculinity and manhood. You know why? Because it's a bunch of bullshit. I will refuse to ruin your peace on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm about to go to the gym. You think I'm going to watch that garbage or put that garbage into the atmosphere on my channel where men come here for their peace so that you can get your cortisol levels up and be angry and upset? Sometimes I don't even do reaction videos for that reason. Because what's the point? They're not going to change their opinions and their behaviors towards men. You as an individual man have to make decisions about, you have to be your best self advocate, and you have to develop a level of indifference and unapologetic masculinity where you don't give a rat's ass what these people are trying to do or talk about. Because all they're trying to do is turn you into a disposable tampon. They can shame all day long, kick rocks, do what's best for you. That's why I brought in Ayn Rand, and we talk about altruism. The idea that your life is that of a sacrificial animal for everybody else, and you should not have any happiness or peace or deserve anything in life. Not that men should not take care of people or look out for people, but it's the social contract has been violated. In fair exchange, there's no robbery, they used to say, but there's no fair exchange out here. They're not. I mean, men were dying back in the day. They were celebrated as heroes. They were given respect. There's no respect. They hate your guts. They've been trained to hate your guts. They tried to reconstruct society. They tried to reconstruct the world. They tried to soften men. They tried to weaken masculinity, turn us into drones. It did not work. So now they're going to try and use mind psychologies because they're losing elections, and they don't like it. But they don't have the gall or the balls to put, they can't even find people that are intelligent and articulate that represents what men, real men, think and feel. They find this cucked, simp-ass, weak-ass Scott Galloway, an agent of, the government and whatever else, political agent or whatever he is, pretending like he cares about men. He don't give a rat's ass about men and boys. He doesn't. What he cares about is bringing the servants or the slaves back to the plantation so that they can serve the masters of the globalization, capitalism, feminism, and whatever else they have in stored for men. But they certainly have nothing stored in terms of offering you any peace, any value, any fair exchange for your masculinity and your manhood. They want good slaves. They really don't want men. And that's the fundamental problem. And the insult of all insult is to have the queen of feminism, one who's sown destruction, especially in the Black community, with that color purple narrative, creating this idealistic, this destructive, degenerate Black male image. And that's who you think is going to represent men in this country, men who are truly masculine in their nature and want to be free and want to live life of quality, prosperity, and have some peace and happiness. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think, but I'm not going to play clips of that garbage. Good luck with them. Peace and blessings to you guys, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. But this clown show continues. I'm not going to waste your time showing you clips of that bullshit. Peace. I'm out.